This week we've got more action at Astral Orbiter, big news from Pirates of the Caribbean, progress at Downtown Disney, and one of the coolest experiences that I've ever had covering Disneyland construction. But first, let's start at the top of the Adventureland treehouse to see what's new at Tianas Bayou Adventure. This is becoming one of my favorite places to check out construction these days. We got Tianas, we can look at the Mark Twain, although I don't think we're going to be able to get a very good view of Haunted Mansion from here. But it's still great. I love having an excuse to climb the tree. There is the current state of Tianas Bayou Adventure. They have removed the plastic covering, the wrap that was over the crown of that mountain, the little broccoli crown. And this week, again, we can see some of the, the variations in the color and the work that they still have to go forward. But I want to focus on, real quick here, those areas that we were looking at last week where we had the realization that what they're doing here is closing in some of those open areas of the mountain where there were gaps. Wait, I gotta go back. Look at this back here. I'm gonna have to go back and pause. Yeah, way back there in the corner. There's a construction worker back there, way in the far left of the frame, working this. You can't see this from what I can tell. I don't think you can see where he is from the ground. So they are definitely, I guess the reason why I'm noticing this is they are definitely working on this mountain and changing it in ways that are part of the overall impression that the mountain is going to be giving guests. They are going all out on closing in some of those gaps. And then I'll let it play again, and you can kind of see a longer view. See all that mesh down there in the lower third of the frame. I mean, I feel really confident in saying that this is becoming Tianas Bayou Hill, as opposed to a mountain. I wonder what this is right there. That has sort of an interesting, it almost has like a honeycomb texture to it. I can't tell in this perspective. It's difficult to say if that's mountain or if that's scaffolding or if it's mesh or how it relates to the rest of the mountain. I'll keep an eye out for that later on when we look at the mountain further. But that is an interesting thing to observe there. I'm also wondering, as we look at this, if they're going to be going for the same motif. Again, I don't want to tease it too much, but if they're going to go for the same motif as they have been taking with the mountain at Magic Kingdom. Because I almost feel like they may not. I really do. I almost like they may not do the same thing here. Why that is, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. What if they just left this mountain in the, with the level of foliage that we're seeing today or we saw in the past? Well, here's a close-up of some guys. It looks like they're wrapping up. I think these guys are wrapping up their work. They're closing the little hatches and they're heading back down. So we may have just caught these guys at the end of their ship. But Fast and Furious again this week with the work on Splash Mountain. This is the most fervent that I have seen work on this mountain the past 3 weeks. Matter of fact, we're going to have more to look at in a little bit because while these two guys may be ending their shift, there was still more to be done. Some guys did not go home. We're now at the Harbor Galley looking up at the mountain now instead of down. There's still a handful of guys wrapping up their day. I wonder how similar. Wouldn't that be wild? Wouldn't that be wild if they did not go in the same direction for Tianas Bayou Adventure here? There's the turnaround for the flume for the boats. Two big old holes are still there in the side of that structure. This is after you've splashed down and you're heading back into the mountain. Take a closer look. I'm assuming they have to get in there to that framework there, or maybe there's some electrical. Who knows? Now from the pathway in front of Critter Country, I'm gonna take a look and see if we can't find Mama Odie in there. That's now our new weekly goal. Our new weekly countdown. No sign of Mama Odie. Just a lot of scaffolding. That's really cool, though. I just love... Oh, look at this. Wait, I'm going to pause right here. I feel like that's new mesh that they've added right there just about in the middle of your frame. On the right third of the mountaintop, the crown. That looks like new mesh. So they're not done where I thought they might be. They're not done putting this part of the mountain together. They've got more to fabricate. We're looking at the area now that we were seeing from the Adventureland treehouse. I'm going to keep my eye out for that honeycomb. I don't know if we'll see it because I think it's behind those rocks back there. It's beyond that sight line. I didn't see anything there. Oh, here's a guy. What you doing? He's definitely striking a supervisory pose right there. He's surveying the mountain. DFD. I'm going to go ahead and guess that's Disney Fire Department. He's just scouting things out, I guess, doing it. Oh, look, there he is again. I think. Is that him? I think that was him again. Where am I going? Back over there. Yeah. Nope, that's not the same guy. Different guy, but you can see on his vest it says DFD also. When I was filming this, I was wondering how he got over there so quickly. And that's because there's two different guys. But yeah, DFD. So my assumption is that they are doing a safety check of the mountain. Hopefully they got the clean bill of health on things so far. What is that? What is that? What is that? That's an odd shape. I don't know what to make of that shape. Certainly this is not where it's supposed to go. Certainly they're just putting this there and it belongs somewhere else. But why there, right? That's really wild. What is that thing? Just going to stare at that for a second. It looks like a thin piece of metal that has been, there's a couple stamps in there on the corners, two of the top corners, which means they're probably going to, something else is going to get affixed to it, or it's going to affix onto something else. I'd be really curious if there's anybody out here who can identify what that is or what it's for. I don't think it's structure per se, but it's fascinating nonetheless. I've never seen anything like that on a construction site before, and I've been covering this stuff for a long time. But then again, we don't usually get the good looks like we're getting these days on this mountain. By the way, stay tuned because I teased one of the coolest experiences that I've ever seen or had watching construction. That's coming up here in just a minute. But for now, we'll observe the squirrel and that additional mesh right there. They're going to be fabricating more rock work onto that mesh soon. There's your symmetrical rock stacking. Another construction worker. This is from the Harbor Galley, and I'm trying to get another view of that mesh right there. That's just going to be more rock surface, mountain surface, or hill, whatever you want to call it. I love this little gap right there. That's cool. There's a gap in the mountainside where you can see through into it. I don't know if that's by design or if that was always there. I've never really paid attention, but I love the fact that I could see that guy walk through there. This is in the initial flume turnaround just before you head up the Harry Potter Owl lift. Here's another guy looks to me like he's striking a supervisory pose there. These guys are definitely management of some kind, I think. That's some new mesh right there as well. That's a new development. We'll see them close that up soon. Here we go. Okay, they're going to survey. He's pointing at, okay, check this out, boss. What do you think of this? They're looking at what used to be the Fast Pass queue for Splash Mountain, which is going to become extended queue for Tianas. What are they pointing at? I'm getting a nod. Things are looking good. I know what they're pointing at. They're pointing at this. The area that they have up behind that fence, the queue that runs alongside the mountain, and what can see, well, I don't know. It's going to be kind of tough to tell because the ground is wet. And because we're coming out of the darkness of the tunnel, the light gets a little washed out here. But they have, in fact, that's new pavers down there. I forget the term for that, what kind that is. I'm not talking about the raised area that runs, snug against the mountain. I'm talking about the area down below. I'm pretty sure that's new surface. Is it? That was dirt before, wasn't it? And it looks a lot like the surface. Not exactly, because it's not as dark, but it looks similar to the surface that they were installing or have been installing at Magic Kingdom at the entrance to their Tianas Bayou Adventure. But I'm hedging, I'm second guessing that because A, it's very early in the process to be putting new surface down there. Two, it looks, I can't see it. No, it can't be. Guys, tell me, correct me if I'm wrong. Was that dirt before? And had they put down new pavers down there? You can kind of see the outlines of some of the stones that are making up that surface. It feels like it wouldn't be this weathered already. Like this is one of the, you do this later on in the process. They've only just now put that surface down at Magic Kingdom, and they're 5 months ahead of us. So I have my doubts. Check me on that, Fresh Baked. So let's get back to those guys doing their survey work. I wonder what it is that they were talking about. Very cool. Out in front, there's our entrance, and I'm wondering if we are going to get a new walking surface here. They are obviously working on the entrance. Never mind that. Look at this. Do you guys see that machine? This is the experience that I was talking about. That is like a little mini crane of some kind. At first I thought it was a ripper and a tearer. It looked like the kind of thing that you could use. Well, maybe you still can. You could use to, hey, what's up? I love it. The kind of thing that they would use to tear things down with. But there's a hook on the end of that thing also. So my expectation is that we're going to see some actual construction happen. They're going to be constructionizing right here just for you and me, Fresh Baked. Oh, he's that's a I don't know what belt sander. It looks like a belt, but it's steel that he's working on. But he's buffing things out in order to make things fit, I'm sure, to get things just the right shape and size to install whatever it is they're doing. By the way, you'll recall in previous updates we had shown those pink outlines. That's the area you can see kind of the pink edge that they were in fact going to dig out or carve out a section of that mountain right there for some purpose. There's another one right there. You can see the pink outline of where they cut. We saw those squares, that painted on a couple weeks ago, and here's the result. This is the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing in the whole world. I love this. This is why we constructionize, you guys. This is awesome. And we, by the way, we don't have no idea. Oh, it looks like, are we getting ready? What am I doing? Sliding to the left. We still don't have no idea what it is that they're building here. Why do they need to raise the perimeter? Because that's track. Where they're working on is actual track. That's the left side, the left definition of the track. And I don't know why they would need to raise it up like that to create more, to enclose it almost. Are they trying to enclose it? I don't know. Let's back it up. I feel like they're about to do something. We're backing it up. You can see the hook is starting to go down. They're lowering the hook, getting ready to bring something up. What's going to happen? Meanwhile, my wife, you can see her in the lower corner there. There it is. There's the hook going down. She's capturing this for Instagram also. So you guys probably already got a teaser of this on Instagram, but you're going to get my reaction now here in this construction video. And how cool is this? There we go. Here we go. It's coming up. What's it going to be? It's more steel. Now, I wonder, is this going to be, what this could be is they're building the left perimeter there, the left side of the track. They're building that up. This could be the piece that goes across now. In terms of my thinking that they might close it in. What if they closed it, you guys? What if they made this like a tunnel? That's kind of awesome. I can imagine that piece fitting, what's the word I'm looking for, horizontally and at a right angle to that vertical piece where the guy in the orange vest is. That vertical piece that's going up, put that piece horizontally and at a 90-degree angle to that is what I'm saying. That's what I'm envisioning. I don't know. It takes a long time for them to get these pieces into position. As a matter of fact, they probably didn't even finish that on this evening because we watched them bring it down, and it takes a minute just to do this even. There we go. Everybody into position. So they bring it down to the ground level, but I can imagine that piece definitely fitting horizontally and at a 90-degree angle to that vertical post. Oh, they're bringing it back up again. Oh, now they're back down. This is just fascinating, you guys. This is the reason why I do construction reports. I was excited for that stuff we saw at Universal Studios, the construction that we saw there. That was really fascinating, but this is the coolest thing. I've never been this close to this level of construction before. I could speak to those guys if I wanted to. That's how close we are, and we got to watch it happen. Cool, right? Now, I mentioned that guys were working into the night here at Splash Mountain at Tianas Bayou Adventure. We came back, Liz and I were doing another video, and we came back, and I was looking where the camera is pointed right now is Mama Odie's, the drop on the mountain where that light is. Not a lot to see here. I was hoping maybe I had the wrong camera for this, but when I went around the other side, I saw there's a lot of light happening there. Look at that. There's guys working at this hour on Tianas Bayou Adventure. There's a guy right there working into the evening. They are in earnest. And Liz asked me, why is that? And I said, well, I think it's because they're well behind and they're trying to catch up. Not only are we 4 months behind Magic Kingdom, but we're behind that as well. I think that they've fallen behind, and they've just been doubling their efforts trying to catch up. So that means more guys on site, and that means some guys working into the evening where they can. And I apologize for the poor quality of this video because the camera that I was using is not built for zooming. It's not built for pushing in and looking at things that, the Pocket 3 does not have a very good zoom feature. But that's really what we're talking about here, is that I think Disney is applying some urgency, finally some urgency to a construction project where we've seen them take, years to build a treehouse, and they have done literally nothing to the train station, and we're months behind at Splash Mountain, whereas, how quickly Universal's been moving on their side, it's become a bit of a joke. It's a meme now at this point. So it's nice to see Disney hitting the gas a little and really try to make this thing happen. Now, forgive me, but I'd like to take a quick break from this construction update to let you guys know about GetAwayToday. You may already know that they are our preferred vacation planner, travel agent for our fans who are looking to book a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World or more. Universal Studios Hollywood, Universal Orlando, SeaWorld, Legoland, you name it. And I'd like to think that we know them very well. We've met many of them personally, and we know how kind they are and how really tremendously good they are at their jobs. And that's why I'm confident in referring our fans to Getaway, because I am confident that you will be treated just as well as we have. If you're planning a trip to a Disney park or Universal or anything else of that nature, if you're planning a trip soon, use the link in our description so that they know that we sent you and so that we know that you were sent to them through one of our YouTube videos. And in so doing, you can be confident that you're going to be getting some of the best possible service from people who know everything there is to know about planning a trip to the Disney parks. Thank you for that. Let's get back to the show. So that's Tianas Bayou Adventure for this week. We'll head to Tomorrowland next to see what's going on at the Astro Orbiter, and more of it has been stripped. Last week we reported that it was stripped. This week, more. I guess that's what I'm saying. And again, this is not meant to be, they're not dismantling it for the purposes of getting rid of it or moving it. We reported last week that it was just going to be paint and polish. They're, giving a new paint job, which is still true as far as I know. But we had somebody working on site comment in that video saying they're not doing just that. They're also replacing the main bearing, which I don't know, construction terms very well, but as I understand it, that's the part in the middle that allows the whole thing to rotate around it. That allows the orbiter to orbit, as it were. So that's the center of the ride mechanic. And I would imagine that's probably what's going in the middle of that thing right there. Replacing that why, I don't know if it was, faulty or something to that effect, but that's what I've been told. So, or that's what was being reported in the comments section. That's cool. I'm down. Here's the thing I was hoping. We go back to the front view of this attraction. I would love it if they changed the paint. Get rid of the steampunk theme and get it more in line with what else they're doing here in the entrance to Tomorrowland. Give it a paint scheme, a palette that matches Star Tours on the right and Astro Orbiter on the left. Paint it white and blue and green. Kind of old school. I would give the biggest high five to the Disney company if they did this. If they got rid of the old steampunk color scheme. It's still there. You can see the That top apparatus there with the people mover loading area in the middle left of the frame in the background, that scheme still exists back there. I don't think they'll ever get rid of that because that would require copious amounts of effort and money. But they can do it up here. Why not? That would be amazing. I would love that. High five to Disney if they could pull that off. Hopefully it's not too late. Change their mind. Speak, Fresh Bag, speak. Let's get on the monorail and head to downtown Disney. Here's the scene behind that main retail and dining location. What they're building here, I'm still unsure. I believe it's going to be more downtown Disney, but which building it is, I couldn't say. The only thing that we know that they still have yet to build is the Perla sandwich. So it's either there, or as we keep moving down the line, here, where they are definitely making a lot of progress in getting the foundation ready. As a matter of fact, they've got more than that. You can see they're getting ready to pour concrete right there where those forms are. You can see plumbing being installed. That's great. Lots of earth movers. Yeah. This is happening quickly here. We're very close, I should say, to the vertical phase. I actually found a gap in the walls down on the ground, and you can see that's not structure. That's just steel covering so people don't, so you can travel over it. There's probably, it's open like a trench or whatever. They're just creating a ways for people to get over that space. That's all I could see from that little hole in the wall. Watch next week. That'll be covered up in scrim. They're going to put the no CM David screen up so that I can't see it. There's Din Tai Fung. It looks about as we left it last week and the week before that. Mostly just steel, although I feel like the structure itself, the character of the building is complete. Now they have to start putting in all the guts and then the facade, etc. That's the rear entrance to downtown Disney. And then we'll pan to the left, and that is the current state of that dining and retail building, affectionately known as Best Buy to you and me. Can't really see what progress there's being made here. It looks about, again, as we left it last week, although they are further along, but not a lot of things that we can visibly say, hey, there's a thing. Meanwhile, the bandstand area, I feel like this space has shrunk. The scrim that's up, the fence, I feel like that space has shrunk. They may have replaced some of that concrete or the pavement already. I just feel like that was bigger before, wasn't it? Centrico, just like we left it last week, almost exactly. I feel like that steel there, right there underneath those slats, that's new, that little rim that they built. Hey, there's a guy on the roof. How's it going up there? This is the current state of Paseo. This is taking a while. This is the slow going progress that we've been talking about. They have not moved quickly at all on this. It's not seem like they're in any hurry. But I'd rather they not be in a hurry for downtown Disney, but do be in a hurry inside the park, please. Thank you. Our update on Little Mermaid and California Adventure, there is still a negative impact on Genie Plus happening here. 25-minute standby, which by itself is not a big deal, but there's so few people in this queue that it shouldn't be 25 minutes. This should be much less than that, but obviously they're all waiting for that Lightning Lane groups to go through. Not a big fan of this. Not a big fan of what happened to Lightning or to the Ariel's queue, which brings me to New Orleans Square and Pirates of the Caribbean, where we have learned, it's been reported, that they're going to give the same treatment to Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean in January is going to be getting Lightning Lane, Genie Plus. Not a fan of this choice. Not a fan of putting Lightning Lane on Pirates of the Caribbean. I'll just leave it at that for now. Instead, we'll go back to the top of the Adventureland treehouse to get a look at the Mark Twain. And we know it's the Mark Twain because it says so right there on the back of the boat. That's new stenciling. That's new lettering, Mark Twain. That was not there last week. So they have just added that paint onto the backside, and it obviously it looks great. Everything that I swear, this looks so nice. She looks so pretty, especially at this time of night because you can't see it through the lens. But there was lights up. They had like popcorn style lights around the boat, illuminating it for construction workers to work on, but it also casts a very nice light on the Mark Twain. She looks great. She looks really, really good. Clean and polished and ready for guests. Mark Twain, Disneyland, USA. Now, the paint is not yet done because there's still quite a bit of plastic coverings over the windows and some of the other parts of the boat, but then other coverings have been removed. So they are definitely making progress here. And as we mentioned last week, we are still looking at a reopening date of February 3rd for the Mark Twain, which is about, 5 weeks from now? About 5 weeks. And I can't wait. I need to get up on that Mark Twain and see what's happening at the Haunted Mansion. Hopefully I can see. Oh, let's take a peek in there. What do they got? Yeah, that still looks like it's not fully... They still got to replace the windows there, and it looks like some of the interiors there. They stripped some of those interiors. And then what's left is a couple of odds and ends. Galaxy's Edge, Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. Stopped in there and found that Doc Ondar is on vacation. Doc Ondar is not visible for guests right now. He's probably getting some kind of update. That's a very cool animatronic. One of the best in the land, especially not, that isn't in an attraction. So they're obviously doing some upgrades there or some upkeep. Toontown, still not done. Indiana Jones Adventure, closed. Shocking development. And I'm going to close with this. This is a lot. I found this. We were up in the treehouse, and I said, you know what? I want to know what that letter was. People have identified all the books, the SCA books that are found throughout the daughter's room. And there's a letter on a writing table here. And it obviously looked like it had some actual legit text on there. So I thought, I'm going to get in there, see if I can't read what that letter says. I won't bother reading the whole thing to you, but it's basically a letter from a member of the SCA being written to the daughter. Daughter has expressed interest in certain facets of science that the SCA is involved with. There's at the top, you can see there's reference to the planetarium in New York and to the new observatory in Los Angeles, which I'm assuming is the Griffith Observatory. And there's also reference to Dr. Kon Chunasuke. I hope I said that right. He's one of the SCA members who is on the Jungle Cruise. He's one of the totem pole scientists being attacked by the rhinoceros. So she's familiar with him as well. That's kind of neat. It's not an Easter egg per se because there's not a lot being revealed there, but it's just fun to confirm more of the daughter's interest in SCA and their interest back with her. And, what her interests are. I think it's really cool. It's a really nice touch. I enjoyed finding that quite a bit. And that ends our show this week. That's our construction report from Fresh Baked this week. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, obviously. We do these every Monday. And then follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. And if you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Fresh Baked